Hello, BookTube. This is the fourth big wall bookcase, shelf 4, section 3. We're still doing the history and all that. I'm going to start off with this bruiser here, a beautiful thing. Classical tradition. Anthony Grafton, Glenn W. Most, and Salvatore Sedis. It's a Harvard University Press Reference Library volume. The Belknap Press of Harvard University, 2010. It's a little big to handle. Wonderful volume. So the contents would have a preface, a list of articles, the classical tradition, then contributors, which is very important, and then the index. Let's see, it says, this book aims to provide a reliable and wide-ranging guide to the reception of classical Greco-Roman antiquity in all its dimensions and later cultures. Boom, right off you know what the book's for. So, Aeneas is an article you would see, and then how it's worked. So that was, that would give you a bibliography with the article on Aeneas. It's signed by who wrote the article. So here's a section on aesthetics, Epictetus, letters and epistolography, metaphrasis, piestum, so all sorts of stuff. And then a beautiful section of color art reproductions. Of course, as you can see, this is how this subject matter has been interpreted through time. You can hear my cat at the window growling. Must be a chipmunk out in the front. So, big old bruiser of a book, but a wonderful reference book. That's how we start off that section. Then the next volume here, one I particularly like, the Norton Book of Classical Literature, edited by Bernard Knox. And for those of you who've read the Fagel's translation of Homer, Bernard Knox is a name you'll recognize, classical scholar. He did the introduction or forward or something, I think, in Fagel's translation, at least the Penguin edition. So, Norton Book of Classical Literature, W.W. Norton and Company, New York and London, 1993. So, under the contents, we have Greece, Homer, selections from the Iliad and the Odyssey, Hesiod, from the Works and Days, and then you'd have the Archaic Lyric and Iambus, and then a bunch of them, Xenophani, Sappho, Theognis, Solon, more and more of them. I mean, I'm just giving Thucydides, Herodotus. The selection from their works, a section from the Greek anthology, Anonymous, Plato, Antipater of Sidon, Diotimus. So this is sort of what the table of contents looks like. Nice big introduction. So there's a selection from Sophocles, Plato's Apology, Horace's Odes, book 2 in this particular case, Livy. So nice volume, good selections. Then on to this old thing, the Oxford Companion to Classical Literature, compiled and edited by Sir Paul Harvey with illustrations and maps. A smaller volume. Let's see if I can do this one. The light is just terrible in here. My poor kitty's going crazy over there. Let's get this sound going on. Like, oh, I know what it is. Something at the bird feeder. Okay, Oxford University Press, Ely House, London. First published in 1937, and this is a reprint from 1974. So Let's see. Here's a discussion of Caesar. And the charts there. Pottery. So it's alphabetical. And it's just what it says, it is a companion to classical literature. Now, that's this edition. Now, I have the newer edition of the same thing. The Oxford Companion to Classical Literature. In this case, it's edited by M.C. Howitson. So a little more up to date. I mean, Homer's still Homer, but, you know. Interest change, focus of interest change over time. So there's a Ciceronian age. Let's see what else we have here. So these little articles, and it's handy to have. I don't use the older one much anymore. I do use the newer one just because it's easier to handle. This next thing, I don't have a book cover for it. It's Greek Fire by Oliver Taplin, and I have some other stuff by him too. This is Athenaeum, 1990, out of New York. And so it starts off in the foreword by Ravel Guest. Recent advances in modern science and technology have revolutionized our concepts of self and society. In communications, in industry, in education, in medicine, and our attitude towards each other and to our environment. So he's talking about this whole intersection of the ancient Greek culture and the modern world, and how it's changed through time. It's a fascinating little book. Let's see. These images I'm not going to put on the screen, but there's this section starting about myth. Next one here is a classic of its kind, Walter Burkert, Greek Religion. Let's see here. Translated by John Raffin, Harvard University Press, Cambridge, Mass., 1985. Originally published in German in 1977. So you'd have a survey of scholarship, the sources, the scope of the study, and then the first section is prehistory in the Minoan Mycenaean age. Then the second section is ritual and sanctuary. Third is the gods. 4, the dead, heroes, and chthonic gods. 5, polis and polytheism. 6 is mysteries and aestheticism, and then 7 is philosophical religion. Extensive notes, as you would imagine, for scholarly work on Greek religion. So, good book. This next one's a more popular account of Greek religion. In this case, Zeus, A Journey Through Greece in the Footsteps of a God by Tom Stone. Wonderful cover there, I think. I enjoyed this book. It's a personal exploration of, here's the author of the subject. I found it fascinating. So here, I'll just read a little bit about it. Let me give you a publication. It's a Bloomsbury book, and it is 2008. Lusty, lightning-tempered, polyamorous, Zeus was the most powerful and charismatic of the Greek gods. During his 2,000-year reign atop Mount Olympus, he fathered some of the most enduring figures and stories of world mythology. Perseus, Dionysius, Heracles, Minos and his Minotaur, and Helen of Troy. The tales spawned by the gods' exploits form a thread that binds up thousands of years of Greek culture from its very beginnings to its ingestion by Roman conquerors. In author Tom Stone's fascinating retelling, these stories depict not just a myth, but a life, an idyllic boyhood, passionate youth, exalted middle age, and fading senescence, culminating in an astonishing resurrection in the heart of recently Christianized Constantinople. Good book. This one is by a good author and scholar. I found it. Robin Lane Fox, Traveling Heroes in the Epic Age of Homer. I read his Alexander the Great. Pagans and Christians was a very famous book. This one's Alfred A. Knopf, New York, in 2008. I found this one not very readable, and to be honest with you, not totally convincing. So, I DNF'd it. I didn't even finish it. So maybe I'll go back to it someday. And then this last one is another one of these ancient peoples and places. I've shown a couple of these archaeology books. This is Carl W. Blagan's Troy. Ancient People and Places was edited by Glenn Daniel, the historian of archaeology. It was published by Frederick A. Prager, New York. And this was the 33rd volume in the series and came out in 1963. I love these volumes. There's the author. Now they're a bit dated now. There have been new discoveries, I'm sure, but I've always, when I find them, I grab them. So that was that's a third section of the fourth shelf of the big fourth bookcase, the one that runs along the wall. So, thank you, BookTube.